people think that the dark masculine is the bad boy or the villain in the Hollywood movie, the guy that every girl craves and is gonna drop on her knees for, and that bass in his voice makes a girl so weak and she just be trembling like a laundry and she just wants to because he's. But that is the superficial version of dark masculinity. That is the Hollywood version, the TikTok version of dark masculinity. It's not the deep, soul, esoteric understanding of dark masculinity, which is what I'm going to explain in this video. Because there's superficiality and then there's soul and depth and spirituality, and we're on this side. We're on the side of soul, depth, and spirituality. So let me break it down to you. Dark masculinity is not a vibe. It's not an Instagram aesthetic. No. Spiritually and esoterically, it's a soul signature. It's the energy that one is born with and the natural traits that they have, the natural personality, the soul traits and characteristics and gifts that they have, and the mission and the purpose that they will be on in this incarnation. Now, when you take a look at someone's astrology birth chart, you can tell if they are the dark feminine or the dark masculine, because they're going to have very strong Scorpio energy or very strong Pluto energy. So a lot of people may want to put up a front or put up this persona or put up this Instagram filter and this facade and act a certain way, but really you can't act or be a certain way when it comes to dark masculine energy, because you're either going to be on that path or you're not. And astrology will share someone's soul bare and stripped, okay? And if you want to learn more about astrology, you can check out my website for readings, or you can check out all other videos I have on this channel, because it will really show you who someone truly is and not who they're trying to be. But in this video, I'm going to simplify dark masculinity, and I'm going to share with you 10 traits that the dark masculine has. So this could be personality traits and characteristics, energies, and also life experiences. Now, there's much more to the dark masculine, okay? So I don't want you to think that this is just a full video on dark masculinity. No, there are so many depths and so many layers, and we're going to explore them. But first, let's simplify the dark masculine in 10 traits. Number 1, he is the alpha of the pack. He is a natural born leader, a natural king. He knows how to take charge. He is assertive. He's confident. He believes in himself. Even though he may have gone through ups and downs in his journey that have made him question certain things, he still has a very strong inner knowing and strong self-awareness. He knows how to get things done, how to be assertive, how to initiate, how to manifest, how to take the lead. And you can't tell a dark masculine what to do, because he's going to tell you what to do and put you in your place. So don't even bother entertaining the thought of trying to tame a dark masculine or control him or tell him what to do, because he already knows what to do, and he's definitely not going to take advice from anyone else. And that's not because he's egotistic. No, it's because he thinks things through deeply and intensely, and he analyzes and he critiques absolutely everything. He tears everything apart, dissects everything. So he's always 10 steps ahead, and he values the opinions of others who he deems have the same intellect and qualities as him. But if you're someone that he doesn't value or he doesn't really respect intellectually and spiritually, he's not going to take what you have to say. He doesn't care. And due to him naturally having this alpha leader energy, a lot of other men can actually feel very intimidated by him, be jealous of him, and also fear him. And they can actually show that very easily just by being in his presence, because he's going to trigger it immediately. So he can face a lot of opposition, but nothing can distract him. Nothing can distract the alpha from what he's out to achieve. Number 2, the dark masculine has extremely strong psychic senses and a strong psychic awareness. He is so in tune with energy, the energy within him and all around him in his environment. And if you just take a look at the way he holds himself, how he carries himself, how he approaches life, I mean, he's so composed and calm, yet there's this intensity about him, and he's analyzing everything, observing everything, he's concentrating. I mean, if you just take a look into his eyes, there's this potency, this magic in his eyes. Like, he is looking at everything like as if he's an X-ray machine and he has X-ray vision, and nothing can go past him. He can see through the illusions, he can see through the veil, and his psychic senses and his intuition is always guiding him, and he listens and values his intuition and takes the time to tune into self reflect, review, evaluate, and then take action. So this man is deeply in tune with his psychic energy and his intuition, and he likes to apply logic and intuition together. It's not one or the other for him, it's a balance of both. Number 3, solitude. He is the hermit in physical form. Think of the tarot card, the hermit. The man is always taking the time to be with himself, take time out from the world, be with his self, the universe, his spirituality, listen to the voice of his ancestors, retreat, and tune back to self. He likes to be alone, and he may be the alpha of the pack, or he may just be a lone wolf. Like, he can be the alpha of the pack, and his pack can consist of absolutely no one. Or in another way, you can see it as him just being the lone alpha, the lone wolf, who is on a very spiritual journey. So he needs time out. He can't be around people all the time because he doesn't want everyone and anyone to just influence him, because we do become like the 5 people we hang around with the most. Think of it as spiritual solitude. He needs a time out so he can maintain the balance of both worlds, the physical world and the spiritual world. And if he doesn't have that balance, he's not going to be operating from his highest expression. And it's also important for him to be alone, because that's the way he also maintains his spirituality and his relationship with the divine, the universe, his higher self, whatever term he wants to use to make sense of a higher power that is guiding him on this journey, this very spiritual journey that he is on. The dark masculine is super psychic, so he's also absorbing a lot of energy. He also can see the temptations, the distractions, the illusions, the deceit. So he has to withdraw from the world and tune back to his senses, back to his temple, so he can get a better understanding of the world, what he's going through, what his emotions are telling him, what his psychic energy is telling him, what the voice of his ancestors are telling him. And when he feels like he's ready to go back into the world, or socialize with people or be present physically, then he will go back. So you got to be comfortable with the dark masculine being alone and spending time alone, because if you're not, then you're going to get really triggered by his independence and how important his space, his spiritual solitude, his freedom is to him. Number 4, speaking of spirituality, this man is on a very spiritual, sacred path, and his spiritual energy is so strong. You can feel it in his presence, his magnetism, his psychic energy. You can feel this person is special. There's something different and unique about him. Now, no matter how much you try to understand him, it might take some time, or to be quite honest, he can be very misunderstood, and we're going to get to that. He's super spiritual, so he's not the type of guy that just wants to go out to the club or go out to the bar, drink and what have you. No. This man is going to be somebody who takes care of himself spiritually, physically, emotionally, through all realms. And his body is super sacred to him, so he's going to spend a lot of time taking care of himself through what he eats, through how he works out, exercises. He wants to keep fit. He is a warrior, so he's going to take a lot of pride in his body as well. And his body is going to be a work of art. Can we just say that? He also knows that he's on a divine mission. He has a divine purpose, a divine calling. So he may not be able to fit in with everyone else. He may not have the same interests or the same desires or ambitions like other men that are around him, or just like the average man, because like I said, he's on a very spiritual path. And he's very in tune with his spiritual path, his spirituality, his divine connection, his divine purpose. And he's out here to live his divine mission, his divine purpose, and be that spiritual warrior. So this man is super spiritual. Number 5, he feels so intensely and deeply. Now, he may not show it, he may not reveal that side to him, but he is processing a lot internally. As a dark masculine, he is super psychic. And in order to be very psychic, you got to also be very empathic and have a very high sensitivity to energy around you, but also within you. And he feels a lot. He's not like other men or the average guy who is completely detached or dissociates from his emotional self, because for a lot of people, it's due to fear, or because their heart chakra is completely blocked, or it's a way of them to cope and they can't actually handle their emotions, so they just detach from them and disassociate. But for him, because he is in alignment and his heart chakra is super, super strong and open, he is going to feel quite a lot. He's going to feel everything. He's going to be very empathic and very sensitive, and he may come across as cold or unapproachable, and that's based on the person who perceives him to be like that. But that's not who he is internally. Who he truly is a beautiful, sensitive, emotional soul, and he values the messages of his emotions. He values what he is feeling because he can learn lessons from those feelings and those emotions, and he can make sense of himself and the world around him. Now, when I say he's an emotional man, I don't mean he's sitting down with a box of tissues and crying his heart out. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that he feels things. He feels things on a very deep level, and he processes them. He takes time to reflect on what he is feeling and his emotions so that he can have a better understanding of who he is, the journey he's on, and the cycles he's going through. He also feels deeply for others, the people in his life that he values and that he loves, especially in a romantic relationship. If he's gonna love you, he's gonna love you with his all, his every fiber of his soul. And he's not the kind of guy that's gonna be falling in and out of love every other week. Not for the dark masculine, no, because he's super psychically in tune, and for him it's gotta be a soul connection, a soul union, and if it's not, then he's not satisfied and he can't entertain it on a deep spiritual level. So this man is so dreamy because he feels emotions, and he can empathize with you, he can sit down with you, you can talk to him, he will listen, he will understand you, and he has this healing quality about him, and he can help coach you through your emotions too. So he's just so mystical and so dreamy. I mean, did I not just say that? Number 6. Because this man is a highly spiritual man, he is going to be interested in the taboo, the occult, and even magic. Now, when I say magic, I don't mean as in love, light, unicorns, and rainbows, abracadabra. No, that's not what I'm saying. When I say magic, I'm talking about how can we ascend? How can we transform? How can we alchemize? Because he is an alchemist. He is a spiritual exorcist, okay? I'm talking about the esoteric stuff here. This man is going to have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the esoterics, and he may have those understandings and the wisdom, the spiritual wisdom very naturally, because if we dived into his past lives, he's not afraid of talking about things that people find uncomfortable. He's not afraid of talking about things that are a bit too intense or a bit too dark. He wants to understand absolutely everything, the light and most especially the darkness. That's his element. He's not afraid of it. No, that is his element. And he's not afraid of exploring the unknown, exploring the mysteries of the world, exploring the darkness. That's what he's going to be passionate about. He is a spiritual exorcist. He is a spiritual warrior. He's also the kind of guy that may be interested in spiritual healing. He's the type of guy that may also be interested in astrology, which is channeling from the stars. You know, using the stars, the planets, the universe. And it's a language, a sacred ancient language that guides us in life. So he's going to be interested and have a passion and also have a gift in those things. Number 7, he is super selective with his energy. So he's not someone that's going to entertain absolutely anyone or anything. Everything needs to have purpose, meaning, and depth for him. Every conversation, every interaction, every relationship. And he's selective with everything, including people. It doesn't matter how long you've known him. Maybe you grew up with him. Maybe you're even family. Maybe you've just known him forever. Like, it doesn't matter to him how long you've known him, who you are to him. Like, it has to be the type of relationship, the type of connection that is soulful and meaningful, where there is just a I see you, you see me type of thing, and where there's no judgment, where there's just love, unconditional love and respect. And there has to be like a spiritual foundation as well. So super selective with his energy, with his time, where he gives his energy and his effort as well. Like, he's not gonna make the effort with everyone. He doesn't care. And that's why he can come across as so cold, or like he's so icy, or he's just not concerned with anyone else. Like, some people can think that he's too selfish and too consumed, but that's because they're misinterpreting his energy. If he's operating from his divinity, he's very loving. He's just selective with his love though. Whereas if he's operating from distortion, then he's just going to be reckless. And yeah, he's going to be very self-consumed and have like narcissistic traits, but it just depends on, is he operating from divinity or distortion? Number 8, he is super loyal and committed. Not only in relationships, but absolutely everything in his life. If he commits himself to grow as a person and to expand and evolve, he's never going to give up. He made that promise to himself. So he's always going to show up for himself because he is committed to improving on himself, being the best version of himself, being the most divine version of himself, and to expand his own consciousness and to expand as a person. Like, he's never going to stop doing that because he's committed to his journey, his path, his mission. He's going to give it his all, his absolute all. He's also very loyal, meaning if you have the blessing of being in his life, he's always going to be there for you no matter what. Through the highs and especially through the lows. Like, he's going to show up in your most darkest, deepest, lowest points in life because that's his element. I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to hold you. I'm here to help you see your light, see your power. I'm here to hold up a spiritual mirror for you and show you who you are and that you can get through absolutely everything, and I'm going to be here right next to you. I'm not going to do the work for you. I'm not going to fix the problem for you. But by the end of it, when you look at yourself and you see what you've gone through, you're going to be proud of yourself and your growth and your power. And even in relationships, the moment he commits, and it takes a lot for him to commit because, like I said, he's very selective. He doesn't entertain absolutely just anyone. No. Once he commits, trust me, he is going to be head over heels over that person. There's going to be a very strong soul connection, and there's going to be genuine, true, divine soul love there because it takes a lot for him to commit, because as someone who really enjoys his spiritual solitude and needs to retreat and spend a lot of time alone, it's very difficult for him to maintain a relationship because a relationship requires another person. You know, everything that you're giving to yourself, you also have to give to another person. And for him, that can be a challenge because of that whole spiritual solitude thing. But once he commits, that person's the one for sure. Like, that person is the one for him. Just think of the Greek myth between Hades and Persephone. You know, Hades committed to Persephone. He made her the queen, the goddess of his underworld. Every woman finds Hades so attractive because he's so powerful and everyone fears him, and he has a wealth of knowledge and wisdom, power, and also wealth. So he's a super, super attractive man, but he's never really committed to anyone the way he has committed to Persephone and made her his queen, his goddess. He shared everything he had with her. Once he's in your life, he is there forever, for eternity. He's not leaving. Number 9, this man oozes strong sexual energy. You feel it in his presence, his magnetic, psychic, sexual aura. You see it through his eyes. A lot of women are going to find him to be very attractive, and women will perhaps even just throw themselves at him because he takes that out of other women. Like, they lose control of themselves. They be acting crazy and silly and just head over heels over him because he is super psychically, spiritually, magnetic, and very attractive. Every woman wants him. Or they can feel intimidated by him, or they can just, you know, misinterpret him. But for the most part, he has a very strong sexual energy. And he's a very sexually mature man. And by that, I mean he's not someone who's going to be bragging about sexuality and talking about it all day and all night long in an immature manner. He's not going to be talking about all the women he's been with or all the things he gets up to with them. No, he is very classy and elegant and sophisticated. If you just think about it, if you turn on today's music, turn on any type of media, there's sexual connotation everywhere. There's that, and it's just like WTF, and it's just so immature. Whereas the dark masculine is not into that. It's just laughable to him. He understands sexual maturity and the power and the magic of sex. And it can be very sacred to him. He can be very interested in tantra and manifesting through sex magic. He understands that it's a sacred exchange of energy. And that's why he can also be very selective with his sexual partners, because he understands that sexual energy exchange. And he understands that it's a giving and a receiving. He also understands the sacredness of his life force. So this man is very sexually mature, has very strong sexual energy. However, he's also very sexually selective. Last but not least, number 10, this man is misunderstood. No matter how much you try to figure him out, spend time with him and try to understand his world or try to study him, you'll never really be able to understand him because his energy can be so, to others, complicated. But in other words, there's just a lot of layers, a lot of depths when it comes to the dark masculine. Once you think you have him figured out, he will surprise you. And the dark masculine can be misunderstood for many different reasons. People can misinterpret his energy. They may judge him without really getting to know him, or they may find him to be a little too deep and intense or too spiritual, and they don't really understand those things, so they fear them. They may also get just a negative vibe for him because there is this darkness around him. But when you can see the dark masculine from his divinity, you'll see the dark divinity within him, and that is radiating outwards. But if you're unable to see the divinity in the darkness, then you will misinterpret him. He can also be misinterpreted due to not wanting to be everywhere, or not wanting to maintain some type of like interaction or communication, or you may find him to be too withdrawn, or he spends too much time alone, or he's not that social, or he doesn't make the effort with you. But he's selective, he enjoys his solitude, and he understands that energy is sacred, so he's very careful and strategic of where he gives that energy. So there you have it, the dark masculine. It is such a beautiful, powerful energy, and it's not an energy that can be understood by all, but definitely those with eyes that can see. Now this video was about the 10 traits of the dark masculine. I'm gonna get much more deeper in other videos, so make sure you subscribe and tap on the notification bell. I would love to hear from you. What does the dark masculine energy mean to you? How do you perceive it? Share with me your experiences with it. I would love to hear from you. You can check out all the other videos on this channel and also connect to me on TikTok at Astrology, and I'll see you very soon. Lots of love.